Hello friends, welcome to this session on Power BI from Vidyarjan Academy or VDAC. I am Parag Newsarkar conducting this session. In this session, we are going to discuss how data modeling is handled or managed by Power BI. We all know importance of a good data model in any software application, right? A good data model is crucial for deriving meaningful insights from our data. A good data model helps us to maintain proper consistency in our data in our tables. So let's see how Power BI handles this data modeling. So for this, we will upload 4 data files into our Power BI, and then we will see or we will build relationship among these 4 files, right? So as usual, we'll open the Power BI desktop application and we'll click on blank report. So clicking on the blank report, we will click on this Excel workbook here in our ribbon, and we will upload 4 files. These 4 files are customers, products, regions, and sales. So we'll start with customers. We'll click on customer here, click on open, and we will click on load data because we are not going to do any transformation in this exercise. So it is loading customer data. After customers, we will load products data. So we'll again click on this Excel workbook here. We'll select all files here, select products file, click on open, and we will load the products data. After products, we will upload the regions data. Again, we'll select all files from here, click on regions, we'll open and load the regions file. Okay. After this, we will load the sales data. Again, click on Excel workbook, select the sales file, open and load it. We'll select the sales sheet here and click on load. So you can see here that we have these 4 data tables created in our Power BI application. So let's have a look at content of these 4 tables. So let's click on customer and see what data it contains, for which we go to table view. So this customers table has these columns starting with customer ID, customer name, email, age, gender, and location. So looking at this data, based on our experience, we understand that customer ID is the unique identifier or primary key of this customers table. Similarly, we look at the products table. Again, here it has product ID, product name, category, subcategory, and unit price. So product ID is the primary key of this table. The regions table, again, we have region code, region name, and country. And region code is the primary key for this table. And we look at the sales table. In sales, we have order ID, product ID, customer ID, date, region ID, quantity, and cost. So looking at this data, we know that the sales table, which is a transaction table or facts table, and it is related with the other 3 tables, which are dimension tables or master tables using the ID fields, respective IDs. So product ID, using product ID, it is linked or it is connected with the products master. Using customer ID, it is linked with customer master, and using the region ID, it is linked with region master. Now, after loading the data, if we go to this model view, okay, click on model view. So it shows here two panes, data pane and properties pane. Again, this is a context sensitive pane here because we are in model view. It shows properties of the relationships. So for the time being, we'll collapse these two panes so that we get a bigger view of our tables. Now we see that there are four tables arranged here in a line. So to have a better visualization, we'll drag the sales table, which is a central table, to all the tables, right? Because sales table is connected to all the tables. Other tables are not connected to each other. Yeah, all of these are connected to only sales table. So let's drag the sales table and keep it in the center. So now we can see that the sales table is connected with these tables, and the relationship between these tables is represented by these lines here. So the relationship between customers table and sales tables is represented by this line here, right? And it showed the cardinality, one to many. One customers may have multiple sales transactions or multiple sales orders, right? Similarly, products table also has a relationship of one to many with the sales table, and similarly region table also. Now, if you want to see details of these relationships, there are multiple ways of looking at this relationship. So click on this line here, it highlights this relationship. And if we expand this properties pane, it shows us details of this relationship. We show the relationship between two tables. Table one is sales table, second table is customers table. And they are linked using these columns here. The customer ID from sales table and customer ID from customers table, right? There are multiple ways of looking at the relationship. So either through this properties pane, or we can also double click on this line, which opens this dialog box and which shows details of the relationship. So it shows here from table sales to table customers, and for both the tables, it shows a preview or sample of the data here, and it highlights the columns using which these two tables are related. So customer ID from sales table, customer ID from customers table, right, are used in this relationship. Cardinality is many to one because it's from sales tables to customer table, it is many to one. From customers to sales, it will be one to many. Now, you can see one more field here, cross filter direction. This cross filter direction is used to indicate how filters will propagate in this relationship. Means when we apply filter on one table, it should be applied on the other table also. So there are two types of cross filter directions, single and both. So whenever the relationship is one to many or many to one, cross filter direction is always single. And it means that the filter will propagate from one side of the relationship to many side of the relationship. That means from customers to sales, right? So it means that when we apply filter on customers table, it will get applied on the sales table also. But the other way will not hold true. That means we cannot apply filter on sales table on a customer. both side cross filter direction is used in many-to-many relationship. That means we can apply the filter from both the tables. So since in our case, our relationship is one-to-many, let's focus on this single side filter direction. We will see when we, build some visuals. Okay. Now, another way to look at this relationship is, if you click on manage relationships option here in your ribbon, you get a dialog box where it will show all the relationships built in our data model. So if you click on any of the relationship and click on edit, it will open the same dialog box as we have seen earlier. So this way you can, create, modify, or delete relationship. If you want to delete, you can select and click on delete. Now, one more thing here, how Power BI has built this relationship. We have not built it, right? Power BI automatically detects the relationship and creates it. So how does it do it? So there are 3-4, identifiers, which are 3-4 ways in which Power BI identify the relationship. First is the column name. So customer ID in the customer table and customer ID in sales table, or product ID in product table and product ID in sales table, right? But if you look at this regions table, here this column is called custom. This column is called a region code, right? But in sales table, it is called region ID. Still, it has built a relationship automatically. So not only column name, it also have a look at the data, is data type, content of the data, number of occurrences in each table. And based on this, it builds this relationship. So if we want to modify it, we can modify it. Or if you want to delete it, we can delete it later on. The Power BI automatically detects the relationship and builds it for us. Okay. Now, this was all about managing the relationship. Now, let's see how we can use or we can leverage this relationship in our reports or in our visuals. So let's build one visual on the sales table. Okay, so let's expand this sales table and let's build, let's say, region-wise quantity, right? So what we will do, we will select one visual clustered column chart. Okay, and we will, put quantity and region ID in this chart. Now, we have built this column chart. So where, sum of quantity or sum of is shown against each region ID. But this region ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 does not make sense to the users, right? We don't understand what is region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's better if we include region name here. So what we can do, I will expand this region table and we will remove or uncheck this region ID and check this region name or region here. So because of this relationship that it's built between these two tables, regions and cells, you can include any field from the regions table and cells table in a single visual. So instead of region ID, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now it shows us against region names, east, west, central, south, or north. This makes more sense. This is more understandable, right? Now, let's build another visual. So we'll click on the blank space in Canvas. We'll click on cursor column chart again. We will, let's say region-wise cost, right? So we have built another visual here which shows region ID-wise cost. Again, what we'll do, we'll not use region ID, we'll use region name. So we have this region-wise cost. And suppose you want to know breakup of this region-wise cost. across different product categories. So what we will do, we'll expand the product table and include product category in legend. So this way we can use, fields from multiple tables into a single visual. Now, whenever we build a visual, Power BI automatically adds all the fields used in the visuals in the filters. So it has added by default category, region, and sum of cost in the filters. But if you want to add a field from some other table, let's say you want to add gender in filter, so we can include gender in filter. And we can select any gender and that filter will be applied on our visual. Okay. So we have seen that based on the right relationship, we can build a good dashboard or visual, and we can use fields or columns from any of the related tables in our visuals in a single visual. Now let's have a look at one more feature of Power BI here. So if you look at this, if you click on this visual and you see one more in your visualization pane, you can see one field here, small multiples, right? So what does this small multiple do? So let's have a look at this. So let's add a field, let's say gender in small multiples, right? So we drag gender from customers table and put it in small multiple, right? See what it had done. So it has created three different three different graphs based on the parameter that we have included in small multiple or the dimension that we included in small multiples. So what it does, it splits the chart into smaller charts based on the dimension that we include in small multiples. So we can either add a dimension in legend or in small multiples. If we move the gender into legend, see what happens? It will show us breakup into multiple columns. But if we put this gender into small multiples, it will split the chart in multiple charts. So this is what we had to cover this session today. This session, we saw importance of data modeling, how Power BI handles or manages data modeling. And we also saw one more feature of this small multiples in visualization. So that's all we had in this session. Thank you. Bye.